All right, so this video is going to go over a couple of techniques for self-massage. So we're basically working through the specific muscles in the legs with self-massage techniques. I've got other videos that show the upper body, but for this one, we'll go through the legs. So first, we're going to look at the calf muscle. So in our calves, we've got three main trigger points. So outer gastrocnemius, or that big ball section of the calf, outer side. So we're on the back side, but towards the outer, and then inner. So we've got same thing on that back side, but towards the inner. And then right down in the soleus, or this middle muscle that attaches down to the Achilles tendon. Any of those three could be tight. Generally, to get into them, you want to place your thumb in there. So you're digging in with your thumb and then wrapping around and basically just massaging through, just like your typical massage technique. Working through that, getting that muscle warmed up, moving. So first, just some movement, get it warmed up. And then I'm going to dig into the specific trigger point. So if I've got a trigger point here, so I'm digging in, I feel that tension. Then I can just do a bit of movement in around there. I can do some static pressure, or I can do some active release where I lean into it. Personally, this is what I prefer. Sometimes I'll bend my thumb over and dig in with my knuckle, or even with that top part of the top knuckle on the thumb. And I'm basically just working through. So if I'm releasing my calf, I'm basically just doing exactly this. I might flip it over this way, get into that other side. Just working through all of that muscle tissue, finding those tight spots and getting that ankle movement, because essentially that's our purpose here, is to get the ankles moving. Make sure that that tissue is sliding the way it should be, that it's not stuck. We can get into the side of the calf here. Another trigger point there very often. Working through there, kind of digging in, and then we can go into the front of the calf, into that tibialis anterior muscle, so that front muscle beside the shin bone. Dig into there. On the other side of the shin bone, there's another muscle deep in there. You can get in there. Lots of different stuff we can hit. You can look at an anatomy drawing to see where the different muscles are. But really, my big three focuses is that triangle, soleus, and then the inner and outer gastroc. And then maybe this side of the calf here. But again, go by what's tight and just work on that movement through there as you go. You can also put your fist in and use the weight of your leg to dig in. Again, whatever gets the job done. If somehow you could maneuver your elbow down there, if you're super flexible, that could work too. So that's our calves. For our thighs, we're gonna generally use the forearm. So I'm digging my forearm or my elbow into my thigh, and I'm going for that outer quadrant and then the flat front surface. So either outer or flat front, or inner as well if it's tight. Again, I can go through with my thumbs, digging into there. Depending how strong your grip is, you may or may not be able to dig deep enough. I can push down. I'm basically shifting my body weight into it, digging my elbow in, working the way through. And again, we can add some movement there. Stretching out, shortening that muscle first. So we go into that short position of the quad, dig in, and then move through that stretch, and you'll feel that pull. Go short, dig in, work your way through it. I'll also very often do this kind of sliding down, just like you'd see with a massage technique. Skin on skin can also work really well, so I'll very often do that. You get a little bit different pull. Heel of your palm can work really nicely. Again, just whatever you need to do to get leverage on it. Massage oil or moisturizer can work really well as well for getting stuff loosened up, making it nice and smooth so it doesn't feel like you're pulling your hair. Basically, whatever you need to do to get in there. And then lastly, for our TFL, our side of the hip, a lot of times it's basically just digging your fist in. So I might lean sideways and push that fist into that side to get that pressure. All of these techniques, not quite ideal, because we are basically creating tension in our body to push while also trying to relax our body to release. So not ideal that way, but you do get the tissue moving at least into the side of the hip or front of the hip here. So any of this stuff, I can just dig in like that. Again, this is basically get as much of it as you can. I'll often do this while I'm in the car, seated, just working through that front surface. Whatever you can do, and it's great grip training too. This should be in addition to your regular releases, not instead, or if you're in a place away on vacation or whatever where you can't properly access foam rolls or lacrosse balls or whatever else. And those are the techniques.